Hello again. This is Roy with the Business of Business podcast. You can find us, of course, at www.thebusinessofbusinesspodcast.com on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. So today we're fortunate enough to have a great marketing consultant, Denice Bailey with the dbailey Group. She's going to be talking to us, kind of taking us back to a marketing 101. I think this talk will cover a wide range of audience listeners, from those that are just starting out to those that may do periodic marketing but nothing that is consistent, to those that maybe have curtailed their marketing efforts due to COVID. And then, of course, this is going to work for smaller, mid-size, and large companies, as well as the solopreneurs and even some not-for-profits. So without further ado, we'll welcome Denice. And how's it going?
Hey, Rory, thanks for including me and asking. I'm honored to be joining you this afternoon.
You bet. Well, I'm glad we could finally get you on. Marketing it's ever changing, number one. But, we were talking about this, kind of pre-show, is not only is this going to be a good roadmap for people to use to carry out their marketing plan, but I think even more important is some of these questions that we're going to ask today are helping us find out where we are. I'm old enough I can relate back to the old paper map days, and back then, before you could plan a trip out, you actually had to know where you were. And I kind of look at this, as the marketing task, as trying to plan out the trip, is we have to know where we are as an individual, our talents. We have to know where we are as a company, their budget constraints, all different things like that. So we have to know where we're starting before we can start the journey and carry this out. So looking forward to talking.
And I agree. I tell clients all the time is, how do you know you got where you wanted to be if you didn't develop a plan, a strategic map of what needs to happen, so you can, and part of it too, Roy, is that plan, that map can help also gauge the results. How do you know if it's been successful if you didn't know where you were starting from?
Right. Yeah, and that's another important aspect, is measuring results, because we're fortunate and we're at a disadvantage. We've got so many channels in which we can place our money and our efforts that we have to measure to find out which one really works for us and which one reaches that audience that we want. Because, if we're trying to reach 40-year-old adults and we're marketing like crazy, but we're reaching 20-something women with children, that's not who our product is gauged for. So even though we might have a lot of response, if they're not our customers, if they're not going to spend money with us, then it's really a failure.
And to add to that, Roy, I kind of preach until I'm blue in the face, is you got to make sure you're talking to your audience. And just as critical, you got to assure your messaging is tailored to fit that audience. Because a lot of times your messaging could be more geared to a completely different demographic or industry, and you're trying to replicate it to use for something else. And that could be impeding anything you're doing. And unfortunately, it could be a waste of resources.
Exactly. And I think, one of the first questions that we've talked about is you have to kind of ask yourself, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I, the end answer, of course, is we want to build our business. But I think we can drill down to other points in that, like, maybe is there new competition? Do we have a new product? I know that, there's a company that you're working with that is, kind of overhauling their name and brand image. So, that's a great time to launch a marketing campaign as well.
Yes, it is. And just like you said, is, what's behind this? And again, sometimes I will have a client